Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 3 of LazyTalks. Everyone knows Robbie Rotten. He's the funny villain of the show, the master of disguise, and believe it or not, one of the smartest residents of LazyTown. Robbie's always trying to do some comically horrible plots to get Sporticus unhealthy, the kids unhealthy, the kids out of town, or Sporticus out of town. Some of them are so stupid that you're like, this shouldn't work, and it doesn't. But some of them get you like, this should work, and it doesn't, because this is a preschool show. But anyways, we're going to be covering the plans of Robbie Rotten that should have worked. The first plan that should have worked was the one in Welcome to LazyTown. This is the first episode of LazyTown, and you can already tell that Sporticus will never walk somewhere for his life. So of course, Robbie Rotten assumes that Sporticus is going to flippity-flop into his trap, which is a hole dug into the ground, but you won't believe who falls into his trap. The woman that always stays inside, talking to her friends on the phone, suddenly decides to come out on the same day Robbie digs a hole for somebody else. The next scheme that definitely should have worked is from Friends Forever. In this episode, Stephanie builds a theme park all by herself with no adult supervision, and she decides to start a competition with all of her friends. Whoever wins gets into Sporticus's airship. Robbie sees this and he wants to make sure that Sporticus's airship is destroyed. So he builds his own teacup ride and he steals the ticket to Sporticus's airship and releases the air. This should have worked and no one's gonna convince me otherwise. Like, how does Sporticus just manage to always win? Like, this plan was flawless. It was Robbie messing it up with that stupid parachute. It's the parachute's fault. It's the power! The next plan that should have worked is from episode 18, Records Day. The Sporticus keeps on helping the kids with advice on how to get a world record, a LazyTown world record, and Robbie's just trying to get the Lazy Sky world record. So he decides to launch flying soccer balls at Sporticus's airship, so it's him and potentially the airship. This plan should have worked! They somehow calculate the perfect way to hit an apple using frisbees and ping pong tables and soccer balls and blah 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 and all that random stuff, and somehow the apple gets into Sporticus's hand and he bites it and he's strong enough to climb up the platform with one hand. This plan should have worked and you know it. Now this one is from a Robbie episode, Robbie's greatest misses. Robbie reminisces over his worst plots ever. He combines hundreds of LazyTown plans when Sporticus, he would never be able to defeat multiple of Robbie's plans at one time, right? Wow, newsflash! That's exactly what he does! The poor armor is actually getting to me, guys. The poor armor is actually... And the last unworking plan, because this episode is gonna drive me crazy, is the one from Ziggy's Talking Teddy. Ziggy wants to play a basketball game, and if he loses, Sporticus leaves town, and his teddy bear is the guy that gives him motivation, but Robbie makes it turn against him.
You're all that good.
Tedicus? Did you say something? Huh?
Of course I did. I said you're not that good at basketball.
See how short he is? See how short Ziggy is? He can't possibly actually win a sports game, right? Whoa! Thank you for watching this episode of LazyTalks. It was a pain to make.